You are listening to STR, the Sandy Times Radio, culture, music, and beyond.
Hey there, welcome to Canvas of Crimes, our new podcast that unites two truly exciting things, art and true crime. My name is Dara Morgan, I'm chief editor at the Sandy Times. As a big fan of Ocean's 11, I wanted to dig deeper into the world of crimes inside the art industry. And you know what? There are plenty of them. I'll keep exploring them along with Alex Mancia, our senior editor. Today, we're diving into four of the most breathtaking stories of masterpiece heists, from the recent Louvre scandal to the Spider-Man heist. And it wasn't the Marvel movie after all. So, let's get started. October 19, 2025, Paris, the Louvre, the place you go to see history, and apparently to watch a live demo of how not to secure jewellery. It's 9:30 a.m. A truck pulls up on the Quai du Louvre. Not weird at all, right? And this truck has a window ladder thing Parisians use to move furniture. Two thieves ride it up to a second-floor window near the Apollo Gallery, slice through glass with power tools, and boom, alarms start singing. Inside, they smash two display cases and grab 8 precious objects. A royal sapphire necklace set, a royal emerald set, a diamond brooch, and a diadem worn by Empress Eugenie. And then, the universe insists on slapstick. During the escape, they drop a 9th item, Eugenie's crown, which police recover later, damaged. Imagine dropping a crown. I almost got a heart attack last time I dropped my phone. They drop a crown with over 1,000 diamonds and keep it moving. The whole thing takes under 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That's less time than it takes me to open a museum audio guide, hit play, and immediately regret every life choice that brought me to track 17, this ceiling. Staff were nearby, but Louvre protocol is protect people, so visitors are evacuated first. No heroic tackles, no cinematic slow motion, just French chaos and a lot of pardon, pardon. The thieves climb back down the ladder, hop onto 2 high-powered scooters waiting outside, and vanish into Paris traffic, the true final boss. Month later, surveillance footage goes public while the Louvre is dealing with strikes, closures, and union pressure. Everybody's looking at leadership like, so what about that ambitious renovation? And the missing jewels? Still missing, which is extra scary because jewels are the easiest thing to break apart. Paintings are bulky and recognizable. Jewels can become separate little problems scattered like glitter at a kid's birthday party. Okay, Heist 1, the Louvre, 2025, Construction Worker Cosplay Edition. Heist 2 is the legend. Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, Boston, March 18, 1990. If art heists had a Hall of Fame, this one would have its own wing. It's 1:24 a.m. 2 men, dressed as a police, ring the intercom. Disturbance call. The guard breaks protocol and lets them in. Instantly, my soul leaves my body. Because the first rule of nights is if someone shows up at 1 in the morning and says, "We're here to help," they are most probably not. Once inside, the so-called cops do not investigate anything. They restrain 2 guards in the basement, duct tape, handcuffs, the whole "this is why we have rules" starter pack. And then they have 81 minutes of uninterrupted museum shopping. They take 13 works. 13. Rembrandt's Christ in the Storm on the Sea of Galilee, his only seascape, plus another Rembrandt. The Maze the Concert, one of roughly 35 paintings he ever made. 5 Degas works, a Manet, and smaller objects too, like an ancient Chinese bronze beaker and a Napoleonic eagle finial, because apparently the thieves wanted a little souvenir with their trauma. They make 2 trips to their car and disappear, leaving behind empty frames and a museum staff that probably aged 5 years overnight. Still unsolved, still the biggest art heist in the US history. There's a $10 million reward, a constant flood of tips, and about 1,000 theories. The museum even keeps the empty frames on the walls, like the building is quietly whispering, "We remember, we are waiting." It's haunting and honestly, the most passive-aggressive interior design choice ever. And if you're wondering, but how do you sell a famous Rembrandt? You usually don't, not cleanly. Stolen art often becomes criminal currency, collateral, a bargaining chip, a hostage situation, but the hostage is all on canvas. And the negotiators are people who definitely do not use LinkedIn. Heist 3. The Scream. Oslo, February 12, 1994. The Winter Olympics are about to begin. The city is waking up. Two men roll up with a ladder, smash a second-floor window, snip the wires holding Edvard Munch's The Scream, and slide it out in about 50 seconds. It is like a late checkout at a hotel. Thanks for having us. Bye. They leave a note though. Thanks for the poor security. Not a threat, a review. Then the recovery turns into an undercover comedy. Scotland Yard detective Charles Hill poses as a slightly dodgy art dealer. The pitch is basically, "Hi, I represent the Getty Museum and I have money." There are calls, middlemen, more middlemen. It's like a family tree but criminal. And finally a meetup at a summer house. At one point they want to do the handoff at midnight in the woods, and he's like, "Absolutely not, I'm not collecting a national treasure like it's a mushroom trip." The next morning, the painting is produced from under a carpet, wrapped up like laundry, and boom, Norway's most famous Scream is back home. Arrests follow, including Paul Enger, a former footballer who became a notorious art thief, which is the most Scandinavian plot twist ever. He played soccer and also stole Munch. The Scream returns to a less vulnerable spot. Oh, and yes, another version of the painting was stolen 10 years later. Different museum, different version of the Scream, and this time it's not a sneaky ladder situation. It is broad daylight, masked guys walk in with a gun, yank the Scream right off the wall, grab Madonna on their way out, and leave a room full of tourists standing there with their mouths open like they just watched a magic trick where the magician hates everyone. And the security details are painfully familiar. Reports that alarms didn't go off, and the paintings attached by wire. In the end, that Scream was recovered in 2006, though sustaining some moisture damage. Heist 4. Spider-Man. Paris, May 2010. Musée d'Art Moderne. A burglar named Vjeran Tomic, nicknamed Spider-Man because he climbs like gravity is optional, cuts a gate, breaks a window, and enters a museum where alarms are awaiting repair. He goes in for one leger, still life with candlestick, but realizes nothing is beeping and no one is coming. So he takes 4 more: a Picasso, a Matisse, a Braque, and a Modigliani. 5 paintings, worth over 100 million euros gone. And the guards? They don't even notice until the next day, when empty frames are doing that silent screaming things frames do. Tomic is arrested in 2011 and later sentenced in 2017. One accomplice claims he panicked and threw the paintings away, a sentence that makes every art person physically cringe. Others believe they were smuggled out. Either way, the works are still missing, which means somewhere on Earth there might be a Modigliani hanging above a couch that smells like cigarette smoke and bad decisions. So, what do these heists share? Speed, access, and the uncomfortable truth that mastermind is often just person who noticed the window was easy. Sometimes it's a ladder, sometimes it's a gun, sometimes it's an alarm that's been broken for weeks. Art crime isn't always Ocean's 11. Sometimes it's more like Ocean's 2 with a power tool and a scooter. Thanks for listening to Canvas of Crimes. Next week, tune in to hear Alex tell you about all the dirt that happens inside. What happens when the thief has a key? We'll dig into cases where curators, students, and museum staff turned rogue and walked off with priceless treasures. Until then, Support your local museums. And if you see a truck-mounted ladder outside a gallery, maybe don't just assume someone's moving a couch. See you next time.